So let's call to order this regular board meeting of the Lake Bluff Park District, Monday, February 22nd, 2021. Marcia, roll call, please.
Commissioner Beeler?
Here.
Commissioner Greenfield? He's coming.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Commissioner Greenfield, we're taking roll.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Lane?
Here.
Commissioner McKendry? No. Commissioner Walsh?
Here.
Commissioner Weber?
Here.
And President Mossberger?
Here. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda, please?
So
So
moved.
moved, Beeler.
Second, Walsh.
Marcia, roll call.
Commissioner Beeler?
Yes.
Commissioner Greenfield?
Yes.
Commissioner Lane?
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh?
Yes, sorry.
Commissioner, it's okay. Commissioner Weber?
Yes.
President Mossberger?
Yes.
And McKendry, I'm here.
And Commissioner McKendry?
Here.
Okay.
Always likes to make an entrance.
You know it, Chris.
Statement of visitors. Other than some friends, do we have any, Jeff, any visitors out there?
No.
All right, so moving on to verbal communications from staff to start.
I don't have any additional items.
Okay. John, anything to add other than what's in the report here?
No, nothing.
All right, Paul, finance, anything that we should be aware of post that Monday meeting we had a couple weeks ago?
No, nothing has come up. We have to deal with, some issues. I mean, ultimately, we have to keep working on that whole project, but I think that was a very complete meeting and just have our work cut out for us.
Yeah, agreed. Speaking of work cut out for us, how's Parks and Beach Committee?
Oh, we're doing great.
Good attitude. Anything to update us on?
We do have an update, but I think it's in here. So should we just sit tight because we're going to talk about it in
Yeah.
new business?
Yep, let's sit tight.
Okay.
Emily, how about facilities?
Well, I guess Jim can update us on the volunteer program because I think it's moving ahead, right?
Great.
Yeah. So thanks to Commissioner Lane, we've developed a volunteer calendar. We have some information on the website. By the end of the week, we will be looking for volunteers to help us with the egg hunt because the egg hunt is not going to happen here on Park District property, but we're going to bring it out to the residents. So we're going to need help delivering the eggs, packaging them as well. So we're hopeful that we're going to get some middle schoolers or high school kids who need some community service hours to help with that project. And then our next project will be the spring beach cleanup.
That's so awesome. Thank you, Jim, for doing
That's
that
great.
and getting it started, and can't wait to see all the different programs that are added to it. So very exciting. Very exciting. Yay.
I agree.
Yeah, that's great. Friends, you guys just had a meeting. Anything to update us on, Jennifer?
I'm going to pass the baton to John or Jim because I was only there for part of the meeting.
Who wants to take the baton?
I mean, I can just touch on some of the stuff, and then Jim, if you want to jump in and add anything. But they talked about just some of the updates. They talked about the fundraiser with the limited prints that's in discussion. The bottle or the water, bottle filler at the golf clubhouse has been installed by staff, and there's still some money left over from that, still about $5,000. So they wanted me to reach out to the golf association to talk about if there's some other wants that money might be applied for, the roughly $5,000 balance that was raised. So they did talk about the brick sales and what, that money would be designated for or not. They want to come back and talk about that a little bit more. And what else should we have on that, Jim? Anything else that you can think of? I have to flip back to their agenda here.
Yeah, so the color run has been moved to 2022, just so everyone knows, due to COVID and still, an unknown of how many people we can gather. So the foundation, since they're taking on this event with staff, that they made a decision that it's best, in our best interest, just to move it. So it'll be held in June of 2022. I feel pretty confident we'll be able to run it next year. The Shepherd preschool scholarship, Jennifer's going to follow up. Commissioner Beeler is going to follow up with Kathy Shepherd just to make sure that she's okay. The Shepherd family is okay with having their name on that scholarship. I think that covered everything. I was just looking at the agenda.
Yeah, the only other thing, they were talking about the pickleball courts at Blair Park. And so there was some discussion of, if we were going to spend 30 or 32,000 to do the repairs and repainting of the court and the permanent nets for pickleball and for tennis, would it be better to look at if they were able to do more fundraising, possibly do a resurfacing, which had been identified in the long-term capital, as a more expensive project that might be 65 or 75,000, but that's going to have a 15 or 20 year lifespan versus 5 to 7 years. So they wanted to discuss that a little bit more and see if they wanted to come back to the board with a proposal about considering something like that, depending on if they were able to do some more fundraising, if the park district would consider putting a little bit more money or maybe a 2-year funding. You already have 20,000 set aside for this year. So that was brought up today.
John, if they have an additional 5,000, I've asked for this for a long time. Could we get one of those water coolers down at the beach so we could cut down on the waste of plastic and make the garbage cans a little lighter? And I am really surprised it went to the golf course before the beach, actually. But I think
The money came from the association.
Yeah.
Oh, from the golf
association? Yeah.
And we did order one for the rec center because, right now, currently, drinking fountains cannot be used according to IDPH, but the water fillers can be, the bottle fillers can be used. So we've ordered one for the rec center as well, but that's not come in.
Hey, Corey, they've got something going with wines on the bluff, so maybe that would be a good segue with water and wine kind of thing.
John, don't we have a filler already at the fitness center? Upstairs?
I think the one, Noah, was that for the first floor of the rec center that's on order?
Correct. Where this one will be placed near where the vending machines are in that hallway.
Yeah, by the gym entrance.
To help accommodate camp and things like that.
Corey, I think we can afford a hose down at the beach.
You think? That'd be awesome. Maybe a hose at Artesian too would be really nice.
Okay, that's good.
2 hoses.
What are those, John, what do those cost?
They're about $2,000.
Oh, that's not bad.
I think we have to go back to Jennifer's idea. What were you saying? One that flows wine?
Yeah, there's a group called Wines on the Bluff, and they're looking at doing a fundraiser and having money donated from Wines on the Bluff. So I'm saying we got a water wine connection. There's something
I love
there.
that.
Yeah.
Great. All right, it's a good idea, Corey. I like it. Find the 2,000.
I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna work on the wine first now because I like that idea better.
I like it.
Thank you, Nikki. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, any other commissioner comments?
I just want to say that I was so excited that they that you guys added more open gym time for the basketball during President's Weekend. So thank you for doing that. I think it's awesome to have that open gym time for kids and families to go. I use it, my neighbors used it. So I really would love to see more of those open gym times for like, just if there's some time that's open, like just making sure that we use it for, like we're using it for something and it's not just wasted gym time, because it really does get used by the community. And it's that part that I think is essential, like giving back. And so not always having to pay for something. So if we can do that more, I think it's a good thing. But anyways, I want to say thank you for doing that, because it was nice to be able to go a couple times during the weekend. So thank you. Kudos to you guys.
And I think when Jim looked into this earlier, he was saying we are one of the few in Lake County that are offering the open gym right now for Park District. So I'm glad we're able to do that.
We get quite a few requests from our neighboring towns that want to come in for open gym, but as of right now, we're just only doing residents.
That's great. Good work, Jim, and the rest of your staff. That's great.
Thank you.
We've got some minutes in here to approve. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of January 25th of this year and February 8th? First one's regular board meeting. The second one's the committee of the whole meeting.
So moved.
Second,
Roll call, Marcia.
Commissioner Beeler?
Yes.
Commissioner Greenfield?
Yes.
Commissioner Lane?
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry?
yes.
Commissioner Welsh?
Yes.
Commissioner Weber?
Yes.
President Mossberger?
Yes. All right, some invoices that I will now scroll to. Anyone have any questions on any of the payments that were included in here? Any large ones that, John, you or anyone else want to highlight? Or anything unusual?
Actually, I'm just looking back through it right now. And I'll throw that question to Josh as well. Was there anything in there, Josh, that was notable for this month?
The only larger item was an audit final bill for 2020. That was $8,000. Everything else seems pretty normal.
And Josh, is that in line what we pay them with what you've seen in other districts?
So I looked back because the 8,000 seemed a little bit high.
Yeah.
I looked back at what we budgeted and it was a little high. I can definitely reach out to them and see what the reasoning was for that. I don't know if that was, if we use them for other things possibly this year, if that's part of it. But I can definitely reach out to them and figure that out.
Yeah, we did have them prepare the levy, which was the first time doing that. But I don't know if that was lumped in that bill or not.
Okay.
Because in the invoice, it just said audit 2020 final bill. So it didn't give much detail.
Okay. I didn't see anything else in these reports. Anyone else with anything they had a question on? All right. Sorry, let me go back up. So
I had one question.
Yeah.
We had another, this came up, I think it came up like a couple months ago with mutt mitts. And this time we paid $5,679 for dog poo bags. Didn't we just do that?
Noah?
We did order some in September. I typically order a full pallet, which is 60 cases in January. That'll get us to September. And then I order another 20 to 30 cases in September to get us through the end of the year.
Okay.
Because I don't have the storage space to store more. Otherwise I would just buy it all in bulk at one time. But
No, that's fine. I mean, there evidently is a lot of dog poo in Lake Bluff.
it is a very big dog community, as you know.
Keep your parks clean, Paul.
That's right. But I thought we had seen a big bill from them before, and I was just.
Yep, you are correct. But yeah, it's about twice a year. January, September is about when I try to time it.
All right. So if we can get a motion to approve the invoice schedule for the ACH payments for January and the invoice schedule for the period ending February 2nd, 16th, and 22nd, please.
So moved, Beeler?
Second.
All right, Marcia, roll call, please.
Commissioner Beeler,
Yes.
Commissioner Greenfield,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry,
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh. Walsh, Commissioner Walsh.
Yes. Yes.
Commissioner Weber,
I think Nikki said
I think
yes for me,
covered
but
yes.
I will also say yes.
Yeah,
President Mossberger.
Nikki got me covered. She said my yes.
Okay.
I'm yes too. Okay. Finances, Josh, you're up.
So yeah, currently for January and year to date, the general fund was a net loss of about $95,000, performing better than the budgeted loss of $131,000. To keep in mind with those numbers, currently we're working on getting some of our invoicing a little bit more on track with budget, making sure it's entered correctly. So we're currently working on getting that corrected and fixed for future months. So those numbers may be a little bit off of what it actually is due to some of those invoices like utilities being posted the month late. But as of now, those are the numbers to budget. In rec, a net loss of $253,964 compared to the net loss budgeted of $318,890. And I think part of that is due from the COVID moving from tier 3 to phase 4 and opening up some more programs. So in revenue in programs is up $17,000 for preschool dance and youth athletics. Health and fitness is $9,000 to memberships, and racket sports was $5,000.
Hey, Josh, what is it? We're on page 38. Did some of these numbers not reset for 21? Like particularly like the rec fund, debt service fund, those numbers look like they're from, maybe not from last year, but they're not like just January's numbers, right?
So those are the correct numbers. So we did make some of the payments we made in December were for January of 2021. Okay. So some of those got moved from year to year. So those are the correct January payments for the debt service.
Okay. Now what about rec fund? There's a footnote there. The rec fund has $268 in debt expenses for 2020.
So that would be the golf transfer and the paddle transfer from the debt service payments.
Okay.
Now, Josh, we were supposed to, or we were expecting to receive some tax revenue in January, weren't we?
So we received it in January. We're supposed to receive a final payment. They said the last week of February or the first week of March.
Okay.
So yeah, but that January payment, I want to say it was around 40,000, was moved back to 2020.
Okay. All right. Well, I think, clearly if the rec fund can continue to operate at this level above budget, that's great. I mean, that really makes a huge difference if we continue to see those differences. And I think we did the right thing in budgeting conservatively. But otherwise, these positive surprises are nice to see.
Yep, healthy start.
Yep.
Any other questions for Josh? All right. So we need a motion to accept the financial reports.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Marcia, roll call, please.
Commissioner Beeler,
Yes.
Commissioner Greenfield,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry,
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh,
Yes.
Commissioner Weber,
Yes.
President Musburger.
Yes. All right, then we need a motion to ratify the purchase card payments.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Marcia, roll call, please.
Commissioner Beeler,
Yes.
Commissioner Greenfield,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry,
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh,
Yes.
Commissioner Weber,
Yes.
President Musburger.
Yes. All right. So new business, the Sunrise Park and Beach entrance bid. Who is,
All
Go
right.
ahead.
Well, we met today at 4 p.m. and we have some good news. There were 2 bids. One was on the lower end, one was on the higher end. And John checked out the lower end, the references, and they all checked out. And we decided to accept the bid. Well, we'd like to, from Copenhagen Construction, with some alternates included to move forward with the project with a total amount of $350,000. And John and Jim, feel free to add anything you'd like to add to that.
can I ask, I see George is here, but he's muted. Hey, George, I'm just kind of curious how there could be that big of a variance with 2 firms that are looking at doing the same work. Does one need the work much worse than the other one? Or was something included in one of the bids that wasn't included in the other bid? How can there be that big of a variance?
I haven't seen the bids themselves. I just saw the number, but
Okay.
I suspect that the guy that has the really high number has plenty of work
Yeah.
and just threw a huge number out there. I think there was kind of word on the street that there weren't a lot of people that were going to bid the project.
Okay.
And I've seen over the years, I've certainly seen some really astronomically high bids. It's good to keep in mind that actually the lower bidder came in pretty much right on with what Cliff's estimate was. We were hoping we could do all the alternates, but we got a pretty nice package, in my opinion, to go forward with.
And one other thing I would just add to that, the Copenhagen was also previously awarded a bid by the Village of Lake Bluff to do some work on the Robert McCoy pathway. They're replacing a bridge, and they're going to be doing that in May and June. So if our project's in April and May, they'll save some money on mobilizing equipment and personnel here to do the job. So that made it a little bit more appealing to them to bid on this project.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Empire Construction, throughout their bid, they had some sections that they didn't even really quote. So they kind of left it vague, to be determined, with, I think you said electrical and some other areas. So I think they were just kind of padding it in so they had enough, but they didn't actually have the cost for some of those things.
And they don't typically do these type of projects, Empire. Yeah, I think that might have factored in too. If they're unfamiliar with some of the work, they bid high. But you're right, they didn't list any of the subs for as Copenhagen did, for the project.
One question that I had: do we have enough? Is this $2,900, $2,945 enough for a contingency?
It really isn't. I mean, you'd like to have a little bit bigger contingency than that. But so that it's cutting it pretty close. But we're also trying to fit in most everything that we feel is important to the project. We've the $350,000. That's from the Secretary of State. We've already received that grant.
Right.
So the money's in one of our accounts. you know, so ideally it'd be nice to have a little bigger contingency, but it's just to try to fit in what we'd really like to see in the project, and what the committee and felt was important. I think we just that's the number we ended up at.
So I think your contingency becomes taking away one of those add-ons that you're including in the project.
You could do that, like if you took the gate out for $18,000. That's
Not Corey's gate.
I know.
No.
I
Bad
really,
example, John.
and I
John,
think
why would you use the gate of all
Yeah.
things? There's
All
like 8 things.
I was going to trade it for a bottle filler, which is a
Yeah.
lot cheaper.
Now you're getting me that for sure.
All right, well, we've talked about this project for several years now. So I think this is great that we have a company that is willing to do it at a reasonable number, that's also been vetted by the village, that has a project going for them right after us. That's a nice tie-in. We've got the money, we need to spend it. I think this is great. Unless anyone objects, I'd say we approve this and let's get going.
Are we going to approve today just that base bid still?
The recommendation from the Park and Beach Committee today was to approve the base bid of $181,755, and the alternates that are identified in that page that total 67,800. So the two together is with those alternates in the base bid is $249,555. That's what the Park and Beach Committee was recommending to the board this evening. The other alternates, there's still interest in the other alternates, but there's it would need to look at what money was available. Part of that was talking with the Friends to talk about the profits from the brick sale, whether that would be used on this project, or if we identified any other funding through either our budget or through the bond that might want to be used for the alternates that right now are not on the list. So we can't fit them in the $350,000 project.
All right, so if we could get a motion, and maybe we should read what John has here on page 56. I'd ask Nikki to do it, but I think she's gone AWOL.
I'm not AWOL. I just did a quick pickup. I'm going to be back at my desk in like 2 minutes.
Perfect. You're off the hook though.
But now you want to do that base bid, you want to do the alternates listed to 67,800.
Right.
And I guess, don't we have to do the design fees and construction management fee?
The design is already finished, so it'd be the construction management, and that's Cliff Miller overseeing the construction phase of the project.
Okay, I could read it and I'll add that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I make a motion to move to accept the base bid from Copenhagen Construction Incorporated in the amount of $181,755 plus construction management plus alternate 1, 2, 3, and 4. And is that correct, John?
It's actually going to be alternate 1A, 1C, alternate 4, alternate 5A, and alternate 5B.
Thank you. Okay, and authorize John Beeler, the executive director, on behalf of the Park District to enter into an agreement for the Sunrise Park and Beach Access Improvement Project as specified in the bid document.
Second.
Thank you. Marcia, roll call, please.
Commissioner Bueller, Commissioner Bueller, you're on mute.
Yep, we're sorry
Okay.
about that. Yes.
Okay, Commissioner Greenfield,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner McHenry,
Yes.
Commissioner Welsh,
Yes.
Commissioner Weber,
Yes.
President Musburger.
Yes. All right, that's great. That's moving forward. Thank you, Corey, and your committee for all the work, and staff.
Oh, thank you to everyone. And a little note, Cliff found a really cool gate. There were 2 gates he ended up looking at, and one of them has a sunrise on it, and it's really pretty, and it's going to be perfect for the entrance. So
Fantastic.
stay tuned.
I thought you were going to say one has a beer dispenser on it, Corey.
Yeah.
Well, I would love that too, with that little wine thing, but no, a sunrise for now.
I've been told it's National Margarita Day, and it seems like many of us have some sort of alcohol on the brain.
Seriously, all directed at me for some
Well,
reason.
yeah,
Go figure.
for some reason.
For some reason.
So, John, intergovernmental program agreement with City of Lake Forest.
And I'm gonna have Jim talk about that. That's an annual reoccurring one. So Jim, why don't you?
Okay.
This is every 2 years. Matter of fact, President Musburger, I believe you sat on that task force and made the recommendation to do shared programming. So
Not
this, what's that?
Not just me.
Who
I see.
who else sat on it?
Wasn't Nikki?
Nikki? Oh, I didn't realize that.
Oh, yeah.
I know I worked with you with some of the beach and
Yep.
lifeguards.
Yeah. That was a long time ago.
2014 to be
Yeah.
exact. So actually it was before 2014. I think it started in 2013.
Yeah.
So so basically we renew this every 2 years, usually in the month of December. However, like the City of Lake Forest had a changeover in mayors, so it kind of delayed the process a little bit. So they have, the City of Lake Forest has already approved this at their last board meeting. Obviously, our boards don't meet at the same time. And so I'm presenting it at this board meeting now that they had the opportunity to look it over. There's no changes. The only thing we're looking at is shared programming. At the City of Lake Forest, their residents have the first ability to sign up and register before Lake Bluff. And Lake Bluff has the same thing. So for like a dance program, we have to enroll our residents before theirs. They don't get pool memberships at resident rates. They don't receive the same benefit our residents have for the beach, and vice versa.
Right. All right. Any comments, or can we just move to approve this? I'll take that as let's move to approve this. So can we get a motion?
I'll move to approve the intergovernmental program agreement between the City of Lake Forest and the Lake Bluff Park District.
I'll
Thank
second.
you. Marcia, roll call, please.
Commissioner Bueller,
Yes.
Commissioner Greenfield,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner McHenry,
Yes.
Commissioner Welsh,
Yes.
Commissioner Weber,
Yes.
President Musburger.
Yes. All right, short agenda. Any communication we need to know about, John?
No, I don't have anything else.
All right. So that's it, guys. We need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. Marcia?
Commissioner Bueller,
Yes.
Commissioner Greenfield,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner McHenry,
Yes.
Commissioner Welsh,
Yes.
Commissioner Weber,
Yes.
President Musburger.
Yes.
7:04.
All right. Thank you, everybody.